Hey y'all, Jamie here, proud 54-year-old trans woman from New Orleans. So, where last I left off, me and my best friend Terry, one of my best friends, Terry, had shared a boy. Yeah, we did. And we did not know that he had an old lady. And he had a fetish for taking locks of the girl's hair that he slept with and putting it on an earring that he wore. So when his old lady decided to surprise him in New Orleans, she walks into the roundup, and there he is with that damn earring on with like 5 or 6 different locks of hair. And mine was the only platinum blonde shoulder length one. So when I met her, it was kind of obvious. She was furious with him. Furious with him. But she was a girl's girl. She didn't get mad with me or Terry or any of the other girls. She got mad with him. She put the blame where it belonged, and she knew that he had been playing games and not telling people, you know. So, anyway, he got in trouble, and she ended up sitting at the bar and getting hooted with me and Terry. And she decided to show us this little trick where she took a flashlight from the bartender and she held it underneath her boob and it glowed. Yeah, apparently when you have breast implants, and I know this for a fact now because I have my own, that when you go into a dark room and you shine a flashlight, you hold the flashlight up to the skin underneath it, and the whole bag glows and you can see everything, the veins and all that. Look, it was a neat little party trick, okay? So that was, that was our experience with Angie. And she dragged Outlaw's butt back to, she stayed in town for a little while and then dragged his butt back to Alabama. So Terry and I are still living at this hotel out on Airline Highway at this time. We're still working at Fun Limited, and Tracy's still working there. Tracy started dating Sean, who was the same guy that dated Angel when we lived at the Warwick Hotel. Little scrawny little hustler boy from Houston that I could not stand personally. But, apparently all of my friends like to pass him around like a tray of hors d'oeuvres. So him and Tracy were together, and he gave her Hep B. Sure did. She came down jaundice and yellow, and he disappeared. He left her butt. Sure did. Broke her heart, left her butt, and left town for a little while. He went back to Houston for a little while. And, yeah. And then Terry decided, listen, girl, we need to get another apartment. We've been at these hotels again for a while now, and, we need to get an apartment. So she went to the French Quarter Realty, and she found us a little slave quarter apartment, which a slave quarter apartment, it's self-explanatory. That's where they, housed people that were enslaved in those days. And so that was what we moved into. It was a tiny little skinny little apartment at the back in the courtyard of this building. And Tracy went off and did her own thing. And around this same time, a new girl came. Well, she wasn't new to New Orleans, but she was new to me and Terry. And her name was Bobby Joe. And Bobby Joe came to town. She had been there before, and this was our first time meeting her. And she ended up going to work at the My Oh My where I was working, and we clashed. We just did not get along at first. She didn't like me. I didn't like her. And we ended up fighting over a customer. And I told her, if you feel froggy, jump. And she did. She busted me right in my mouth. Sure did. And we tore the tar out of each other all over the bar. And I'm the one that got in trouble for it. Yeah. I got chewed out by the manager because I attacked her. She threw the first punch, but I attacked her. Anyway, so shortly after this, Terry decides she's bringing Bobby Joe home. And she brought her to our house and told me that we were going to take her in and we were going to help her. And, give her, take her under our wings and give her a place to stay and, help her out and she could help us out. And, and I was like, have you lost your mind? no, I can't stand her. What are you doing? Like, I was not having it at first. And then, Terry was like, girl, think about how we've always been. We've always stuck together and we've always been there for one another. This girl needs us. We're going to be there for her. So, within a short amount of time, I actually grew to love Bobby Joe. And I mean, she became one of the closest people on this earth to me, and still is to this day. So around the same time, I met a guy who was a very hot Cuban guy named Danny. And Danny and I went home together, and we did not do anything sexually with one another, because when he took off his clothes, I caught a whiff of him and was like, no, there's no way. But I didn't know his ex-girlfriend was Candy Slice, Killer Kelly's friend that I worked with at the My Oh My and at Papa Joe's. And the next night, Candy found out that me and Danny had hooked up. And if you want to know what happened when she confronted me about it, y'all know the routine. Be here tomorrow and I will too. I love you all for watching. I love you for commenting. And I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.